Obviously, you guys were in it right down to the end, but maybe at that last 4 or 5 minutes, what you feel like was the difference?
Yeah, I want to start by saying congrats to the Timberwolves. Coach Finch did a great job in this series, and their whole team created a lot of problems for us. The role players, their stars. Anthony Edwards is, just a special talent, and their bigs played really well this series. And the role players, like I said, with McDaniels and Alexander Walker in particular, and Conley hurt us. With the way those guys pressured, it's a hell of a team they got. And, tip your cap to them. Congrats to them. In terms of tonight's game, we try to look at something different. There's a proven formula to try to get Rudy Gobert either exposed or off the floor in terms of playing small. It's something that I'm not really a big fan of, playing too many minutes small, but against this opponent, I felt like it was something that might open up the floor for us offensively. And it did do that. I wanted to generate more threes. It didn't generate more threes, but we were able to get to the paint a lot more than we have throughout this series because Rudy in front of the rim is a problem. And we created more free throw attempts. Obviously Book had a big night. With the added space of trying to play smaller, but ultimately it wasn't enough. And they made timely big shots and timely, I say, loose ball plays. Every time there's, we're trying to, get some traction or make a run. It seemed like they hit a big three or they'd get a loose ball that kept the possession alive for them. So, like I said, credit them. They played a hell of a series.
How do you digest a season where you came in with championship expectations and then it ended in a sweep in the first round?
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, there's no other way to put it. There's no worse professional feeling in the world than getting swept in the NBA playoffs. I've never been a part of it. I feel pretty low right now. I want to speak to our fans directly and say, I share your passion. I'm as disappointed as y'all are. Okay, I share that with you all. But we got beat by a better team this year, and we put this team together with the mindset that we have a 3 to 5 year window. That every year we're going to have a chance to. We have a team that has the firepower to compete for it. But this league is loaded with firepower. We got a talented group. So do the Timberwolves. So do every team in the top 10 teams in the Western Conference. They are loaded with talent as well. So we got to evaluate and figure out ways we can get better, and just process this tough series loss.
In your mind, it was a roller coaster year with injuries and roster change-ups and all of that. In your mind, what kind of prevented you guys from getting to your peak?
You spoke to a little bit of it. I think we gelled and played some really good basketball down the stretch. Getting the playoff spot in this, bloodbath of a Western Conference was a positive. In light of the injuries and roster experimentation early in the season when we're looking at which minimum guys fit for our group. But ultimately, we played some really good basketball down the stretch. We just ran into a team that is playing better than us right now.
When you look at Brad Beal, he had a rough night, foul trouble, shooting-wise. What went into that, do you think?
Yeah, I think anytime you get in foul trouble, it just disrupts your whole rhythm of your game. The guy was out there competing his tail off, playing super hard. Missed some looks he normally makes. But he's got a guard. We're asking him to guard Anthony Edwards, and play the point guard against full court pressure, which we didn't do a good enough job alleviating that for him. That's on me and our staff for, just making sure we handle their pressure better because their pressure disrupted us the whole series and probably took its toll on Brad. But, he competed his tail off.
Hey, Frank, Book gave a whole shopping list of details that he says need to be worked on and need to be a lot better for next year. But one of them was communications. He said that communications from the top down, and he cited himself, you, Bradley, and Durant, has to be a lot better. What's he talking about, and what needs to be done to make it a lot better?
Yeah, I just think in game we got to talk to each other more, and we be willing to listen. I think on the floor our guys got to talk more, and I think we did a good job communicating what was happening with our team throughout the course of the year. But that's just one of those things that can always be better.
Frank, sticking on Devin, I guess on a positive side, did you see any strides that he took this year individually that can kind of carry over to next year for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best players in the world. I mean, these guys got that killer instinct that I've not really seen, or been a part of. He's special, and I think he took some strides with, being aggressive, shooting the threes and shooting threes off the bounce. How he competed on the defensive side of the ball and took on a lot of challenges and tries to raise his level that way as well.
Coach, a couple of things. One of the things this season, it seemed like there was a lot of inconsistency when you guys played. Was that the case? And also, was that one of the main factors that you didn't go as far as you had liked? And what are some of the other ones that maybe, I know you touched on it briefly before, but
what was the last part of the question?
What are some of the things that could have been better this season that would have helped you go further?
Yeah, I mean, the list is long. When you lose, you always want to evaluate everything. I'd say, personally, no one's harder on me than me. So I mean, I always look inward for ways that I could have done things differently or pulled different strings with our group. I'll make sure that I evaluate myself that way. I always do. But we turned the ball over too much. We didn't ultimately become good enough from a rebounding standpoint, and I think we didn't really find our rhythm in terms of being consistent, with our offensive flow. So there's some things that that I think that we can look at and find ways to be better.